So I needed the string because if I used rubber, then the rubber would get, it would fray and it would break and it wouldn't work so well. So I needed to make a string that could take the kind of abuse that I'm going to put it through. So what I did is I took like some regular twine and I braided it into a singular piece of, a couple feet long, and then I kind of wrapped the area that the actual projectiles would connect to, and then I would hold, so that way it wouldn't, just disintegrate the actual braid, but it would just disintegrate some of that. And then I needed a way to connect this to another object, like the rubber, that could actually power the thing. And if I tied it on there, it would probably break the rubber. There's a lot of problems with how to connect it without fraying it or hurting it. So I created a loop here and wrapped it in several layers to kind of keep it sturdy and hard to disintegrate. And then rubber just goes through the loop. And then here I have a bit of red string around the black to signify a knock.
You see the red string? Okay, and tell me again what the red string is for?
Well, on a bow you have a sort of a ring of sorts that tells you where to put your arrow or your projectile, which is right under that. So this is basically the center of the string.
So tell me about the piece that's going to serve as the straight part or the solid part of the bow.
Well, the bows aren't straight, but the solid part is just it's a bent-up piece of old, I think it's 1/4-inch thick rebar, which I bent between a couple of trees with a pipe and some time. So,
Okay.
and then I added some sheet metal to form a sort of a rest, sort of a thing for the projectile to sit on, so you don't have to, scratch up your hand when you use it, and kind of wrap that all up in duct tape so I could hold it without it slipping everywhere.
You keep saying projectile. Can you define that?
Well, I mean, it could be a rock. I'm not exactly sure, but it's probably going to be more of an arrow sort of thing because I have a string here, not a pouch. If I was going to use rocks, I would have a sort of a leather, like the tip of a glove or the end of a boot or something.
So will you design your own arrow type thing, or?
Well, I mean, it's a simple design. It's just, something to connect to the string with, which is generally a slit in the end of the arrow, which you can pull onto there, which is slightly thinner than the diameter of the string. You have a shaft and then a point, and then about an inch up from the back of the arrow, then you would have some sort of fins or fletching, or vanes, as they're sometimes called, to sort of steady the flight of the thing.
Fletching. I've never heard that word.
No, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell us about your design, your plan, your purpose?
I mean, not especially, except that the steel isn't finished yet.
Okay. And maybe next week we can see that?
Yeah, maybe. It depends on how soon I find good surgical tubing, because some of it's cracked and dry and old.
Okay, so do you need that?
Yes, it can't be, well, I do need that. I don't have it yet, but
Okay. Do you have a source for that?
hardware stores, it's not hard to find.
As surgical tubing at hardware stores?
Well, I mean, it's not surgical tubing, it's just rubber tubing
Okay.
that's stretchy, so.
All right. Thank you, Holden.